Hi, and welcome. My name is Erica Kafka. I am a physician assistant and a yoga therapist. And I'm here today to share with you a breath practice called segmented breathing or segmented breath. It is one of my most favorite breath practices that I do for myself. And it's also one that I love to share with my clients, my patients, my students, my friends, and my family. It is a incredibly centering, calming, and sustaining breath. Breath practice for me is one of the tools that I utilize in my practice with my clients and my patients, as well as in my own life. Being able to tap into the breath is such an incredible tool that we have to help us with an array of different physical and emotional obstacles or challenges, if you will. By becoming more in tune with and aware of, and then also working with the breath, one of the things that can happen from a physical standpoint is an increase in what we call lung capacity, an increase in the ability to breathe better, to breathe more fully, to breathe deeper, to really be able to access all the way down to the little what we call alveolar sacs at the end of the airways. It is where the exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen happens. So we take in the air, we take in the oxygen that goes into the bloodstream, and then we let out the carbon dioxide. When we have good oxygenation in our body, we tend to feel more lively, a little bit more energized, a little bit more upbeat, if you will. The other thing that a consistent breath practice can do for us, or not even consistent, but just tapping into the breath, is it can actually change our mindset, change our state of emotion, change our feeling. One of the times that I tend to offer breath as a tool is when people are feeling stressed or overwhelmed. Being able to come into the breath, take a deep breath, or do some sort of particular breath helps to change. It tells our nervous system, hey, I want you to do something different that you're doing right now, right? So if it's in that fight or flight mode, it says, hey, it's okay. I think it's time for you to maybe start to come into that rest and digest, that place of relaxation, if you will. So it actually the physiology of it helps to shift the mental part of it, right? The behavioral part of it. So in this particular practice, it's called segmented breath. What we're actually going to do is break the breath up on the inhalation into different segmented parts. And then on the exhalation, it'll be one long exhale. The concept behind this and the count that we're going to use, so it'll be a 4-count segmented breath in and then one long exhale out. It's believed that in breathing in that way, it allows for an uplifting and energizing sort of sensation to start to percolate with inside of you, to come to the surface, if you will. It also, at the same time, gives you a sense of grounding, of rooted in, of being embodied, in alignment with what your needed state of being needs to be at the moment, that's going to serve you to the best of your capacity. So this breath, I'm going to show it to you so I can tell you a little bit more about it. So the way that the breath works is that you'll inhale for 4 counts in segments. So it'll look and sound like this. Then you hold at the top for a moment and then exhale out. Good. So when I talk about this breath or teach this breath to people, what I say is think of or imagine a young child, a baby, a toddler, and they're having a really tough time, and they're just in this state where they're sort of hysterical and crying. Or you could even imagine an adult having this as well, but they're just crying, 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 overwhelmed. And then as they get comforted, as they're offered, a sweet touch or soft words, kind words, they start to sort of settle themselves. So one of the things that you'll see them do is this idea of, right? They start to sort of self-soothe after this big, long, deep cry. I mean, we do it too as adults as well, but like it's this natural sort of reflex that our body has. So this breath is emulating that sensation of that, right? That coming down, that coming into that sense of like, okay, good. It's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. I'm going to be in a good space. And that sensation of total body relaxation and embodiment. Okay. So again, let me show you how it is. So it'll be 4 short breaths in and then 1 exhale out. So like this. Good. So if you need Kleenex, you might need to. Sometimes your nose gets a little snotty when you're doing this. The things I want to remind you of, always meet yourself where you're at. So if this is not accessible to you today, the way that this breath works, it's totally okay. You can adjust the count. If 4 sips of air in is a little difficult or doesn't feel right, do 2, do 3. You can even do just 1 sip, hold, and then let it out. So be kind, honor what feels right for you. If it just isn't something that is physically accessible or again just doesn't feel right, the other thing you can always do is visualize. Visualization is an incredibly powerful tool, and I welcome and really honor people that choose to do visualization. It is just as powerful as the practice itself, so you'll visualize. There's a couple of visualizations that you can do with this, and I'll walk you through them as we move into the practice where you're on your own. I'll give those some of you. So if visualization is something you want to add and layer into the breath, you certainly can. If you hear me talking about it, it's just not working for you, just let it go and keep the breath at the pace and the rhythm that works for you. Okay, good. So to start this, we'll take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, let it out, soften, good. And then just begin to bring awareness to your surroundings. Begin to sense into where you are at now. And then begin to bring that awareness in a little bit more and start to bring awareness to your body. Notice your body in the space. Notice how the body is positioned. Can you soften anywhere in the body? And then start to shift the awareness to the breath. Begin to notice the breath. What is the pattern of your breath now, in this moment? Notice your inhale and notice your exhale. And as you become aware of the breath, can you start to soften? Maybe 5-10% more. And then if you haven't already, start to shift the gaze. So maybe gently close the eyes if that feels comfortable and accessible. And let the eye gaze move towards the third eye, that space between the eyebrows, the seat of intuition. Closing the eyes isn't in your practice today. Simply soften the eyes, the muscles around the eyes. Maybe you shift the gaze downward towards the floor or at an object, or maybe at the screen. But let things start to soften in your visual field. And then we'll move now into the practice of our segmented breath. 4 sips of air in, retaining the breath as you take the sips of air in, pausing at the top, and then exhaling out. All of this through the nose. The nose is not working in that capacity for you today. You can use the mouth. I'm going to do this breath with you, so you hear my rhythm and my breath. Follow along. If it's a pattern that doesn't feel right, move into your own pattern. Beautiful. Continue in the rhythm that works for you. If you'd like to layer on a visualization with this, as you take the 4 sips of air in on the inhalation, you can imagine the air moving up the spine. On that 4th sip of air, it reaches the top of the spine at the head. And then exhale, imagine the air moving down through the spine. As you move through the spine is the center of different energy centers that we are often referred to as chakras. They start at the base of the spine and work their way up through the top of the head, the crown chakra. Many different systems. One of the most referred to systems has 7 different chakras. So if you start to visualize color as you move through the spine with the breath, let the colors come in to your sense of awareness. Maybe you see a different color as you exhale out. Feel yourself moving that prana, that life force energy through the spine. It's what we call the central column, where the right and the left side of the body meet, where equalization occurs. This breath allows us to equalize and energize. Feeling the sense of balance. Feeling our mood perhaps shift into a more uplifted place. Finish the last round that you're on, so complete one more round. Finish with an exhale. And then just rest in the after effect. Feel into the body. Notice your mind. And then notice your breath. Notice the subtle shift between when you started until now. And then drop your awareness into your heart center, center of your chest. Breathe into the center of the chest and begin to feel into your heart center. Feel into the love that resides in that space. And as you feel into the love that resides in that space, begin to take that sensation and spread that love to the top of your head, down to the bottom of the body, and then all the way around your being, wrapping yourself in self-love, self-compassion. Feeling your own embrace, embracing the beauty of who you are, and knowing that you are here right now on this earth for a very important reason. Your presence, your light, your life is needed. Know that you are absolutely perfect, just as you are. Take a deep inhale in. Exhale, let it out. And then let a soft smile drift across your lips, or visualize a soft smile drifting across your face. Being present here and now.